Trucks, again! This isn't fair, driver. All week it's been trucks, trucks, trucks. A splendid engine like me should only pull passengers.
This again. We'll have a passenger train soon, James. Maybe a Halloween special. We're due for one.
You'd better be right, driver, because I'm sick of trucks. Where's the rest of my train? I thought Dennis was bringing it after he shunted Gordon's coaches.
He must have dozed off somewhere.
Probably. Wait, are those Gordon's coaches over there?
Yes, on the main line. He couldn't really have left them.
He did. Pip and Emma will be coming through here any minute. We need to move those coaches.
Is the express through yet? Wait, James? What are you doing? James!
Dennis, what's the matter with you?
5 more minutes. James!
Pull your weight, Dennis! James!
What did I miss? Someone call for the breakdown train! If all diesels were like you, Dennis, then James would have been very right to hate them. James, the Vicarstown station master told me everything. I am very proud of you. If you hadn't acted, there would have been a head-on collision, and many people would have been seriously injured. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Stone, how does he look? Not good, sir. He's going to need a lengthy overhaul. Well, there's not much to do about that, I suppose. Whatever it takes to get him back in steam. He's been very brave. And please, give him a new coat of red paint when you're finished. I'm afraid it's not that simple, sir. Some of his parts are completely destroyed. Nothing major, but some smaller parts need to be replaced. I see. Can they be machined? Maybe, but it will take a long time. What we need are replacements. James was built in 1912. There aren't any parts left. Well then, he'll be here for quite some time. Alright then, Patch. I know you'll get it done. I'm sorry, James. You'll need to stay here until they can figure out just what to do.
Yes, sir. It just doesn't feel right doing this without James.
I'm sure he's fine. The works diesel will keep him company. If you ask me, he's lucky. Edward's stories are always a bore. Well, no one's asking you, are they, Diesel? Well, now you know anyway. Perhaps Edward's stories can scare you, but nothing scares me.
Oh, really, Diesel? Remember the time I got covered in flour and made you think I was a ghost?
What? I want to hear that story. There's no more to tell, you just heard it all. Please, Edward, begin.
Very well. There once was a little railway, run by 4 little engines. They all worked the line for many years, and loved their work. But one day, their manager came to them with troubling news. "Our railway is no more," he said. The engines knew what that meant. They begged and pleaded, but it was no good. The following week, they were set to be scrapped.
Oh, 6! Shh! Shush yourself, laddie!
The final train was goods. It was taken by the number 3 engine. He was very sad. This was the end of his railway. After this run, he would be cut up. He approached a hill and began the climb. But as he was just about to reach the top, a cold, emotionless look crossed his face, and, in an instant, the engine shut off all steam. He rolled back down the hill faster and faster. His crew screamed as the train rocketed downhill. It was no good. They kept rolling. At the bottom of the hill was a sharp bend. The other engines were in the yard, and could hear number three's final whistle. Then, all of a sudden, the puffing stopped, and the sound of wheels on rails turned to deafening silence. That was the last time they ever heard number three. A search crew was sent to investigate, but when they arrived, there was no sign of the train. The rails were perfectly intact, the foliage by the bend completely untouched. They never found number three. Years later, the line was run by different engines. It was no longer the railway number three and his friends had known and loved, and all four engines were now long gone. One of the new engines was taking a passenger train up the line. It was in the dead of night. There wasn't a single engine at work on the line other than him. He rounded a bend, and up ahead he saw a hill. All of a sudden, he thought he could hear steam. Then, just over the hill, the number three engine's ghost appeared and rolled right through the engine, and disappeared once again.
What's the matter with you?
Disgraceful! You ruined the
The
story.
miserable story's
Looking
spoiled
forward
for
to
me.
the end. What? Bill and Ben told me earlier today.
I told those two not to tell anyone the ending. This is what I get for being considerate of those who don't sleep at Tidmouth, I suppose. It was still a good story, Edward. Yes, captivating. Well, I'm glad you thought so. Now then, we had better all get some sleep. Come on, Percy. We had better get back to Farquhar. Okay, Thomas. Thomas? Yes, Percy? Is Edward's story true? Of course not, Percy. It's just a story. All right, then. Ouch! Looks like you're not quite ready to go back to work after all, Thomas. That's why we do trial runs, I suppose. I'll have to wait here for the works, Diesel, Percy. You go on ahead without me. All right, then. Good luck at the works, Thomas. We'd better go tell the signalman we're coming, in case there's a down train scheduled. All right. Hello there. What? Oh, Glyn. Wait, you're not Glyn. Your number's off. I don't think I've seen you before. I'm Percy. Are you a new engine? No, Percy. I'm a very old engine. I hear your friend James has had an accident. Yes, he needs special parts, but we don't have any. He's going to be in the works a very long time. I hear your James is from the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. That's right, he is. How did you know that? I know some of his brothers. They're from the very same place. Oh, what does it matter what railway he's from? Well, I think you'll be able to find the parts you need somewhere on the old Sodor line. Really? Thank you. I'll tell Sir Topham Hatt. But wait, James doesn't have more than one brother. They've all been scrapped. Edward! Edward! Edward!
Percy!
To get some
Can I just have a little sleep?
Percy! There's a little red engine, and on your branch line, but he didn't. There are parts there. Parts for James there, Edward. Percy, slow down. I can hardly understand you. Now, what is it you're trying to say? I know where we can find James some spare parts.
Hello, laddie.
Dennis, what are you doing here? I've brought Mr. Stone. Really? Well done, Dennis. We do need him to tell us which parts are needed. I tried to call him, but he didn't pick up. I was sleeping. And now you're up. Come on, Dennis, join the train. Yes, sir. So you think we can find some spares for James here, Percy? Yes, sir. I do, sir. Where, Percy? My branch line is very big. Well, I don't know. Who was that? Number 3.
Number 3?
Who's number 3? We had better follow him.
Follow him?
He's leading us somewhere. We had better take the offer.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I had almost forgotten about this line. Shall we push through, sir? Yes, Edward. Oh, my. Mr. Stone, is there anything of use here?
Yes, anything to help James?
More than enough. It looks as if engines were disassembled here, for the scrap metal. They probably didn't bother with the smaller bits. I see. Well then, Percy, Dennis, well done. You've accelerated James's repairs by months. But how did either of you know to come here?
A little red engine told me a trial, sir.
Like the one we just saw?
No, sir. I'd never seen him before, sir, and he just disappeared when he was done telling me about the spare parts. A little green engine did the same to me. He told me to collect Mr. Stone.
I see. Well, I think it's best we all just return home and get a good night's rest then. Tonight's been a bit too eventful for my liking.
Edward, that engine in the story, the new engine that replaced the older ones, was that me?
Yes, it was, Percy.
Are there really ghosts, Edward?
I'll let you two decide that for yourselves. But I will tell you that there are some things in this world that we just can't explain.